Good morning. We'll start in a few minutes. We'll just let people gather. Investing Live European Markets Wrap. A mixed mood in quiet trading.
Pound lags peers somewhat. Scotiabank.
US dollar index, DXY, drifts lower to 98.50 amid speculation about the next Fed chair.
Crypto today. Bitcoin. XRP shrug off Japan's SBI Holdings ETF filing. Ethereum holds steady.
US dollar CNH, expected to consolidate in a range of 7.800, 7.2 thousand UOB group.
Euro extends rebound through 1.1590 0 resistance. Scotiabank. US dollar, yen. Likely to consolidate between 147 Sajin and 148.20 UOB group.
Euro rises as European shares traded higher. Oil rebounds on Trump threats on Russian crude buyers.
Canadian dollar firms modestly on generally weaker US dollar. Scotiabank.
Investing live European markets wrap. A mixed mood in quiet trading.
Pound lags peers somewhat. Scotiabank.
US dollar index, DXY, drifts lower to 98.50 amid speculation about the next Fed chair.
Crypto Today. Bitcoin. XRP shrug off Japan's SBI Holdings ETF filing. Ethereum holds steady.
US dollar CNH, expected to consolidate in a range of 7.800, 7.2 thousand UOB group.
Euro extends rebound through 1.1590 G0 to resistance. Scotiabank. US dollar, yen. Likely to consolidate between 147 Sajin and 148.20 UOB group.
Euro rises as European shares traded higher. Oil rebounds on Trump threats on Russian crude buyers.
Canadian dollar firms modestly on generally weaker US dollar. Scotiabank.
Oh, it's almost time, huh? Yeah! So, good morning. What a dirty birdie. Still dirty. The US dollar is modestly lower versus the euro, yen, and the pound to start the NA session. What next? Jiminy Cricket! Yeah, well, we start at 8:22 and it's only 8:21, Sebastian. Everything's golden. So I think we should probably get going, huh? All right. So thank you, White Bat Audio, for that royalty-free music, YouTube. Royalty-free. So, good morning. So, what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to cover euro dollar, and then we will do gold and oil and Bitcoin, the S&P 500, the 10-year T-note. And then I've been forgetting lately, we need to do a vote on viewer's choice. You should remind me, Wayne, viewer's choice. Because somebody said the other day, they're like, hey, Wayne, why don't you cover euro yen? I'm like, well, why don't you just pay money? It's in euro. We have euro yen in TRADARS. And then he's like, but I'm like, oh, what? You know what? We're supposed to do viewer's choice. So I'll leave that at the end. If you stay to the end and you vote, your voice will be heard, and we'll do that. So don't let me forget. Because I got to find the right little scene over on the thing. So anyways, what an exciting day we're going to have. And then also, did you see the charts in the stock market? Are we vulnerable? Yeah, maybe. So let's talk about it in a bit. Never mad at the fact he's corrupt like a senator. Yeah, hey, let me remind you that trading's risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. So let's dive into some of the macro. There's going to be two parts of this macro. We're going to have short-term sentiment and then sort of longer-term fundamentals. Okay, with TRADARS, that's easy peasy lemon squeezy. And let's just get a quick update on the headlines that have come out in the last few minutes. The US dollar is modestly lower versus the euro, yen, and the pound to start the NA session. What next? Wait, what? I have to reload the page. Hang on. Click the wrong button. The US dollar is modestly lower versus the euro, yen, and the pound to start the NA session. What next?
Swiss cheesemakers fear for U.S. sales if hit by tariffs.
Investing live European markets wrap. A mixed mood in quiet trading.
Pound lags peers somewhat. Scotiabank.
US dollar index, DXY, drifts lower to 98.50 amid speculation about the next Fed chair.
Crypto.Today. Bitcoin. XRP shrug off Japan's SBI Holdings ETF filing. Ethereum holds steady.
US dollar CNH expected to consolidate in a range of 7.800, 7.2 thousand UOB group.
Euro extends rebound through 1.1590 due zero to resistance. Scotiabank. US dollar, yen. Likely to consolidate between 147 Sajin and 148.20 UOB group.
Euro rises as European shares traded higher.
Cool. What's on the calendar? 1 hour and 3 minutes until Canadian PMI. And then in 13 hours and 3 minutes, we have the balance of trade out of Australia. Huge. And then in 22 hours and 33 minutes, we're going to have the Bank of England interest rate decision. So that's why Kitty Cad's on the move, and that's why Pound's on the move, and Aussie's strong today, so maybe there's an improvement there. So it all makes sense. Everything is right as Wayne. Cool. On the bigger side of sentiment, so we have sentiment, which is a short-term macro. Longer-term macro is going to be under our fundamental tab. Let the database load. Yes, it's a database. It's not just a little website. All right, cool. Yields are down. That's good. Oil is up as expected. You should know 65 was support. We've had that highlighted for a month and a half. Okay. Gold down, stocks down, dollar down, Bitcoin down. Whoa. Money coming out of the market. Yeah. Is that usual or unusual? I don't know. Okay. Check that out. Isn't that neat? Well, what happened last year, Wayne? You mean this? Yeah. Well, what's happening this year? Oh, really? Wait, that's 2024. I didn't know. It's not supposed to be going back that much. Maybe I'll adjust that. Okay. 2 years ago, that's what happened this time of year. Or am I having a brain fart? I'm having a brain fart. March 20. Yeah, sorry. That makes sense. That is a year. So that's what happened a year ago. That's what's happening now. Same. Very similar, huh? Very similar. So anyways, so all that. Now, I'm going to give you a little freebie here, a little sneak peek of what we do. Check this out. There's no underlying intrinsic trend. I covered this an hour ago, and we talked about it in great detail. I also showed how to do relative strength to figure out what you should be doing right now. On the long run, you shouldn't be doing anything. On the short run, things are moving. Okay? And we discussed how to treat scenarios like that. But of course, based on seasonality, it's to be expected. And that's the thing. If you didn't know it was coming, then that is probably your biggest risk. You didn't know none. All right, so we're going to do euro dollar. Everybody okay with that? Anybody here trade euro dollar? Euro. Who trades the euro? Huh? Then we'll do Bitcoin. Then we'll do treasuries. Then we'll do gold. Then we'll do S&P 500. Okay? All right, so we got to start with our euro dollar. And again, just as a reminder, we are going to look for the top 20 most reliable, repeatable patterns. And we get to that by actually statistically tracking all the patterns. Think of this. We track every breakout, every reversal, every Gartley, every butterfly, every channel break, every head and shoulders. We track all of it statistically before it's occurred and then after it's occurred to find out the reliability of these patterns. Then we look for those patterns on 5 different time frames. On everything. When you add it all up, it's 7,500 charts, dude. Okay? So anyways, you ready? 3, 2, 1, euro dollar. Okay, looks like we are breaching on a 30-minute chart here. So I have more than, usually I only have channel like trend patterns. I put all kinds of things here today. So we have all the patterns. So what we've noticed here just in the last hour or so, that we did breach. Let me do this in pink. It's just easier to see sometimes. Okay, we did breach. So how do you trade it? Trade the pullback. Oh my goodness, wait, it pulled back. And then long and gone. But then that allows us to maybe continue. So our scalp, right, if you want to call it that, there's just break, pullback. The scalp is buy it at 116, take it up to a conservative target 160.31 or even higher. Now, how do we get to that? Like, how do we get to this box? Well, we're measuring the distance, and it's going to be equidistant. So remember, this isn't guessing. This isn't prediction. It's pattern recognition. So that's how you trade that pattern. You take this distance, and then you plot it to there. So this distance is that distance. That's the pattern. There's nothing smart about it. That's just how to trade that pattern. Now, it can go further because if it's a new trend, we're going to go that way. And now this scalp could possibly turn into a swing, or at the very least a day trade. Okay, cool. Yeah, very cool. So what else do we see? Talk to me, Goose. We see the same thing on an hourly. And that gets us even higher, up to 118 if it continues. So if this works, then that becomes the new play. And then the other way to look at it, and this is kind of interesting. Okay, this is very informative. You can see we've refused to make higher highs for quite some time. Okay, but if you're going to use this to kind of predict the future, okay, you want to look at this. Okay, pull that up on your chart, and then you have a parallel drawing tool on your charts, and you can try to create the futures bullish channel. And that's what TRADARS will do. Once this is confirmed, it'll get rid of this wedge pattern, and it'll create the channel. But if you know how to do the pattern, you can think ahead. Now remember, this is an algorithm, not AI. AI would think about it and predict the future on your behalf. No. You have to actually use your intelligence and say, well, I understand this pattern. If this pattern does create a higher high, I want to buy a higher low, which would then predict a higher high, which would then kill this wedge, which would then create a new up channel. And then, oh, yes. So we do use AI. I don't want AI to replace you. Right? You're unreplaceable. I want you to be the boss. I want you to think ahead. So this pattern can lead to a new pattern, a continuation pattern, or a reversal pattern, or a consolidation pattern. What do you think? And therefore, what you think derives value. In particular, if you're right more often than you're wrong. All right, Bitcoin. What do you think about Bitcoin, everybody? We're looking at all patterns: up, down, sideways, reversal, continuation, stalled out, inside out, upside down, or backwards. What does TRADARS see? On 5 different time frames, okay, 100 potential possibilities, and only 4 came up out of 100. 96 things would be a waste of your time. And what we're trying to, one of the major benefits of TRADARS, is that we're trying to increase your noise to action ratio. Well, if you're looking at all the noise, you're never going to have any action, in particular, consistent action. So look at these 4 things on Bitcoin and don't look at anything else because they don't exist. They don't. Machines don't make mistakes. Okay? This is what's happening. It's been trained to look for something like this. It noticed that it used to be support. Now it's resistance. So does that mean up? You know what I like to do? I like to sell at resistance. Is it predicting that? No, I'm predicting that. This is what we call a role reversal. So if I'm a bear, I sell. But Wayne, the EURUSD is up. Shh. Stop it. If you're a bear because you did technical or fundamental analysis, this is only suggesting, hey, at 114,500, there's resistance. So if you're a bear, dude, wake up. Wake up. Okay? Cool. So what is this saying? Did you see the Gartley that's forming on the 4-hour? I would never spot this. But what this is telling you is on a daily, this is the pattern. And on a 4-hour, this is, I suppose you could make it equivalent to a 3-wave correction. So it's Fibonacci on a 4-hour combined with Fibonacci on a daily. And bro, that shows the increase of probability of down. Doesn't predict down. It's what it's saying is we have the potential for a Gartley pattern forming. See, it hasn't formed yet. But would you rather me send you a text message or an email that says, hey, it's already fallen? Dude, what's the point of that? So you need to understand what this pattern is. You also need to understand, are you a bull or a bear? If you don't understand, then you're not going to be successful. Just think about it. If you don't understand, you are not going to be successful. Is there any job in the world you could walk into, not understand, and be successful at it? Of course not. So I'm sorry, you're going to need to know how to trade. Now, there's lots of training. You're like, well, Wayne, I don't have $200 a month for TRADARS. So stop trying to sell me TRADARS. Well, would you agree that you need to know how to trade? Yes. Go to investorbootcamp.com. It's $88 a year, and there's more than 88 hours of training, and it's freaking good. Pardon my French. It's not crappy little 15-minute videos. No. These are 16-hour training courses on everything. So anyways, you need to know. And obviously at $88 a year, it's not buying me a yellow Lamborghini. But the thing is, can you continue not knowing? I don't think so. All right, so Bitcoin now showing on a 4-hour a bearish wedge with the Gartley forming, and we're at resistance and a potential breach on the daily. Oh, what's the site? It's actually part of this. Investor Boot Camp. This is my group, by the way, where we turned $50,000. And we started, I think it was November 2023. It's now 98,500, and we're producing, right, income of 12%. And I've taught this group how to construct and manage a portfolio of real cash that's real money. And so we've been at it almost 2 years now, and my goodness, we have a good time. We just had a 2-hour meeting and took profit on a bunch of investments, and we're sitting on a huge pile of cash ready to deploy in the near future. And the conversations that we have are as professional as any hedge fund or endowment or mutual fund or ETF. Like, I advise publicly traded ETF, and our conversations are more detailed at the CIA than the publicly traded company I represent. You're like, dude. Anyways, that's that. But anyways, here it is. InvestorBootcamp.com, formerly known as FXBootcamp.com, but now we cover other things than just Forex. Yeah, $88 a year. So we're actually doing an event here, not today, but 1 week from now. Yeah, what's the name of that one? Anyways, I'm doing an update to our monetary policy training course over at Investor Bootcamp to teach you everything I learned from here. One week from now. Hang on. There we go. So 1 week from now, I'm going to teach you this course that I spent thousands of dollars on at the St. Louis Fed. Sorry. I'm going to teach you all of this. Okay? All of this in an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Yeah. And I'm in it, like I said, I'm in it for probably $3,000 because you have to add up the cost of the hotel and the flight and all that kind of stuff. So, but that's a big but. Where were we? Bitcoin. I'm going to do an update. I think the way I'm going to do it is I'll put out, I'll pass a plate around the audience, and you put in what you feel is worth my time and effort. So if you only have $1, right? And I didn't have a penny to pay, so I got me a pen and a paper, and I made up my own little sign. Thank you, Lord, for believing in me. I'm alive and doing fine. Yeah, put a little note in there at least. Put $1 in, put in $100, whatever you want. I think we'll do that because I just want to do it. I need to share this data with you because what used to happen doesn't happen anymore. Do I even have that website open? I do have it. So this is what we're going to do on Wednesday. Oh, what the heck happened there? Where did it go? There we go. Whoa. There we go. So I've already put the course together. It's nice, right? Yeah. See what I did over the weekend? Huh? That's right, Richard. Well, in fact, it does not work anymore. So there's actually two frameworks now. And so it's not that the old stuff isn't ever going to be used again. They're just not doing it now. So if you took the first course and you learned from me, 1 over R plus E. Do you guys remember that? The money multiplier? This is what your kids are learning in college right now. This is not used anymore. Okay? In fact, 1 over R plus E Okay? There's no R, and there's infinite amounts of E. So what the Fed does has almost no impact. Yeah, Emerald's like, so like, dude, I know it's $88 a year, but like you should, you're right. If I'm going to teach you something like that that's not even in the textbooks yet, would you pay $50? Just chip in $50. Like, Wayne, I don't have $50, and then put in $20. Whatever, dude. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. So I think I'm going to do it that way. Put in whatever you want, but you'll require to put in at least $1. How about that? So if you don't have any money, you're like, Wayne, I spent my whole life savings on the $88. And you're like, well, throw in $1. But you should probably question if you're doing the right thing with your life savings if all you have is $88 and you want to become a Forex trader. You're like, well, Wayne, I need to get rich. Well, you know how you get rich? 3 jobs. I worked all weekend, 15 hours a day, all weekend. That's like a full-time job. That's more than full-time. And that's what I do for fun. That was my weekend. Yeah. And you're like, Wayne, that's probably an exaggeration. My wife made me dinner and brought it downstairs because I locked myself in the basement so I could just work. And one of the days I worked so hard, I forgot about dinner. My wife's like, what did you eat for dinner? And I'm like, what? She's like, last night. What did you eat for dinner? I'm like, I don't know. And I thought about it. I'm like, I didn't eat dinner. Yeah. So anyways, this is the level of effort, but also attitude of my commitment to you. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Go to Harvard for 5 years just to learn some economics? Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Go to Oxford, go to MIT? Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Cool. So anyways, that's your Bitcoin. Sorry, not too fast and furious today, huh? Fast and furious. It only takes 6 hours. Hey, I'm sorry. There's a lot going on. So today I'm doing the quarterly outlook at noon. Did I mention that? Next week, I have to update you on the new monetary policy framework used by the Fed when there's no R and too much E and fractional reserve banking has failed. Yeah, well, that's next week. Dude, talk about, if you want to be competitive in this world we call Forex and trading, you got to have that level of dedication, in my humble opinion. Anyway, so what's going on with the 10-year T-note? Looks like we might break out to the upside. Yields down. That's risk on. Risk on, but that was 4 days ago. What? And so what we are hoping, okay, is that we get an up, a down, kick it off the moving average and up, and all we're measuring is here to here. Again, there's no prediction here. It's just pattern recognition. Okay. Okay. That's all it is. You're like, what? Okay. You take this distance, and then you take that distance, and there you go. Right? So anyways, great. So if it breaks out, that's good because yields are down. The stock market's probably rallying, but it also means the treasury market is trading and putting billions and trillions of dollars into the market in such a way that they anticipate, or what we call pricing in, a Fed cut. Okay, so therefore, if you'd bought the 10-year T-note, let's say a month ago, that's probably a month ago, you paid a 107 for it. Now, what was the yield on that at the time? 4.5. Okay, cool. So now you own this piece of paper that says every year for 10 years, the government's going to pay you 4.5% interest. And at the end of the 10 years, the government's going to give you all your money back. Seems like a good deal, right? It's like buying an apartment building and collecting rent, except this one's risk-free, except for inflation risk. But people call it risk-free. Okay, great. Great. So you hesitated, though, and you didn't do it. But now you think the Fed's going to cut. Okay, great. So today you buy the 10-year T-note. Okay? Okay, and it pays 4.2. Okay? Cost you more money. The price went up from 107 to 112. So this person that made the better decision owns a piece of paper that will pay 4.5. It's like a bearer bond. It doesn't matter who owns it. As long as you're the owner, you're going to collect 4.5, and then at the end of 10 years, get all your money back. You could sell that right now. And it's only been a month, so 1 month in 10 years is nothing, right? So someone can, right, buy it from you for about 112. There's a slight difference because they did lose one payment out of 120 payments. They only get 119 payments. But whatever. So someone bought it at 107 and can sell it for 112 right now. You see how that works? Why? This one pays more. It's worth more. Okay? Now, the Council of Investment Advisors put money into the Treasury market when interest rates were 5.0. Would you like to buy my 5.0? With the rag top down so my hair can blow. Girlie's on the standby waiting just to say hi. Do I stop? No, I just drive by. Thank you, Vanilla Ice. That was so good. All right. So anyways, you see how this works? And so why are they buying it? Because if you buy it, if the Fed cuts, okay, let's say it pays 4.2 today. Let me delete all this. Do it again so it's not confusing. All right, so now it's paying 4.2. It was 4.5. Okay. When the Fed cuts, now we don't know if it's September, October, December, maybe next year, but when the Fed cuts, interest rates will drop. Fed funds rate will drop from 4.5 to 4.25, right? So these will drop. So this idea that it's 4.5 now, or a month ago, now it's 4.2. You see, it's already kind of pricing in where the Fed funds rate will be. And if it was 4.5 here, now 4.2, at some point, if the Fed cuts again, and then the Fed cuts again, what happens? This drops to 4.0, 3.75, so on and so forth. So what happens to the price? For my asset that I paid $107 for, what's the value going to be? Yeah, I don't know, 140 in a year? Because in a year, let's say people are buying the treasury and getting 3.75. And I'm like, hey, I got my treasury for sale. It pays you 4.5 and there's 9 years left. You can just calculate the math. All right. Bonds are just math. Treasuries are government bonds, not corporate bonds, not municipal bonds. Right. So anyway, so it's just bond math. You can do the calculation. You can find out to the penny what price you're willing to pay, and you're not willing to pay too much, and this person's not going to sell it for cheap. So when it comes to these things, you just do the calculation. And therefore, you can derive, oh, people are pricing in a cut. Isn't that nice? Every trade you make from now on, here on in, will be logical and intelligent. Oh, Jimbo wants to know about the CIA. Yeah, right now it's $2,400 a year. Under the new website, I haven't hooked it up. Yeah, I haven't hooked it up. There's a limit on memberships, so we don't want a big group. Okay? We want a small group. And our meetings aren't, because our meetings are intense. Yeah. No, we don't meet in a teepee. Like, Wayne, I don't like tents. Okay, our meetings are not intense. But they're powerful meetings. Wayne, I don't want to go to DB. Okay, you're taking it too far. What do you think about gold? This is what I think. Okay, once again, I'm assuming you've gone through fundamentals. You already know if you're a bull or a bear. If you don't know if you're a bull or a bear on gold, you've just discovered something. You're missing 50% of what's required to be successful. Okay, so if you were a bear, do you like falling wedges? Love it. And that would be an opportunity. Okay, if you're a bull, is that an opportunity? Well, you're kind of 3 days late. You're kind of 3 days late because what you're supposed to be doing is buying at support. Am I right? If you're a bull? Yeah. So now we're on our way to resistance. So now you only have about this much room. So you can day trade it. It's a little day trade. Okay. Maybe you pick up $100. Fine. But is it a trend? No. Now, today, right now, it looks like it's coming down. So that would not be good for this person unless they're trying to buy that moving average. And now we're talking about tactics. Okay, those are tactics. So if you're a bull, you buy the moving average, right? So you see it went up, it came down, hit the moving averages and gone. So once again, now if you're just now trying to figure out what to do, you've missed it, bro. You missed it. Yeah. Yeah. You shouldn't be. This time of day, are you kidding me? You shouldn't be trying to figure out what to do. I mean, come on. You're about 2 hours late. Yeah. But anyways, that's what's going on. Someone bought it on the moving average, and they're going to take it to the top of this channel, which is the same as the top of this. But, okay, right now, that's uncertain. You should look at the fundamentals. What seems to be going on. So now imagine if you were at resistance. So let's say you filled this gap and you're at resistance, and then you got a pattern like this. even better, because now you can be long-term short. Because does this pattern say that? No, that's not what that pattern says. This pattern says if you're a bull, you buy low. If you're a bear, you sell high. If you're if you're a bull, you should understand you're coming up to resistance, and at that price, you should consider taking profit. If you're a bear, do you sell here? No, you sell up here. So either way, whether you're a bull or a bear, you're kind of out of position. The most aggressive thing you could have done was about 2 hours ago and bought it off the moving average on the daily. Oh, but Wayne, I only look at the 15-minute chart. Well, then that's all you see. And you don't understand that there's a potential gap fill. Ugh. Otherwise known as nothing's going on, bro. Be careful. You can be short term, but be careful. But we already went through the risk gauges on the macro section of today, and I showed you. When you look at the bond market, the options market, the dollar market, the yen market, the volatility market, the stock market, the gold market, there's no underlying intrinsic trend right now. If you bet big, you are not probably, meaning the probabilities of you succeeding in a big way is very poor. Your ability to lose money is easy right now. So if you're trading Aussie because it's strong today, good, but I can't prove to you it's going to be strong tomorrow. If you're trading pound today, maybe it has something to do with the Bank of England interest rate decision tomorrow, and maybe that strength goes away. I can't prove that any of this is going to last. Therefore, it's risky. This is why we analyze multiple markets on multiple time frames. Your risk is high and your reward is low right now. And I think that's important information if you ask me. You're like, Wayne, I didn't ask you, but you told me. Yeah, well, great. So an hour ago, we got a heads up that the stock market might fall to support. Now, this is interesting because this is a totally different move here. It's saying even, and this is the same asset, same time frame, but it's saying, look, there's a high probability of down. Just that's what the pattern is, back to support. Because probably on a higher time frame, it's just doing this. Okay. But it says, look, even if that fails and C becomes support and we make a higher high, guess what? The pattern is still bearish. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. So your only hope is if it does this, okay, because remember, if you add all this up, there's a potential for a higher time frame down. And it's saying, well, even if it makes a higher high, that just gets you back to a lower high, and that still puts you into that potential. So you have to understand that this higher high doesn't get you a trend. But it's possible. Okay? This breaks out. It's possible. So be careful. And I would still conclude that doesn't get you on the free and clear plan. Because I also have 20 years of data that suggests if this should move up, down, or sideways. Yeah. So this afternoon, we're going to talk about it in great detail in our third quarter outlook. That's today at noon. I'll send you an email with the link. So in 3 hours, we're going to go through and kind of look at the rest of the year. But we'll do it from a historic basis like we did in the past. Okay? So now we need viewer's choice. And I thought we had a viewer's choice screen. We don't have a viewer's choice screen. So tell me, what would you like to cover in the viewer's choice? What asset? It could be a stock. It could be the stock market. Like you're like, Wayne, show me the Australian stock market. Or a currency pair. You want, you know, euro yen, or you want Kiwi pound or something. What do you want me to cover? Silver? Ripple? Type into the chat. We'll do viewer's choice. And yes, there will be a recording, Osamu. Yeah, of course. So when you log in, you have the 2 meetings we've already done. So yeah, it's already there. Euro dollar. Well, the funny thing is we already did that. But I appreciate the vote. Anybody? I'm not sure how delayed YouTube is. It's extraordinary that there isn't a dozen requests. All right, so no viewer choice. We're done. I'm fine with that. I mean, I've been staring at charts for a billion years. I certainly don't need another minute of it. All right, well, I guess we're done then. All right. So peace on earth. Well, I guess we'll go back to here. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May our profits be above average. Check your email for the invitation to join us at noon for the third quarter outlook. Now, where's the sign up for it? I don't know. You should have been around in January, but I guess I'll put it on the email list. If you haven't signed up, you can pay the $50. And that gets you today's event, the last event, the first event, and the next event. And there's recordings of everything, so you can go back and see what nonsense I may or may have not said in January. And then figure out where we are now. And you're like, Wayne, that was great, or Wayne was way off. Hey, it is what it is. So back in January, I had an opinion of what was going to happen this year. I think it was pretty good, actually, if you ask me. But you didn't ask me. So, whatever. So I'll send out that email. It is at TRADARS. So, I guess I think you're probably required to be a member to even sign up, because I don't even know. Well, you know what? Wait. It seems silly for me not to figure it out. Let me just figure it out here. Hang on. So that you can join. I have to log in. Let me get you a link, because you're like, Wayne, I want to join. What do you mean? Okay, because I don't think you actually have to be a member. So I have to go to, I'm going to pull up the link here. Quarterly Outlook sessions. Oh. It's only $40 a year? Dude, you're kidding me. Dude. Cheap. Get link. Copy to clipboard. Is this the right link? Quarterly. Wow, dude. Guess I have to update that. Yeah, I could probably do it right now. Let me give you the link, though, if you want to join us today. Okay, so you have this video and you have this video. We're doing this today, and then we're doing that there. I know I'm a couple weeks off, but hey, life's complicated. And then I have to change the date on this. Boo boo. What's the date today? 6. There we go. I put a TH. Boop. There you go. That's that. So hopefully you can join, and you can join right now and watch what I said in January, predicting the entire year of 2025 in advance, and see how stupid it was, how dumb Wayne was, how wrong the Wayne got it. Oh, that Wayne in Spain. Huh? Or maybe it was okay. Maybe it was thoughtful and insightful. I don't know. $40, dude. I thought it was $50, which is funny. $50 for a year. It's $40, dude. Insane. Ugh. So anyways, hopefully you care. If you don't care, I'll stop doing them, because I already do them for myself. It takes a lot of work to do one of these things. So anyways, I got to go. I love you, babe. That was real. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. Oh, right. And by the way, I didn't know I was full cam. You're like, I can't even see. So sorry. I didn't realize it was full cam. I was showing you this. Here it is. Next meeting, which is today. $40 a year. How stupid. Huh? All right. So you can watch this right now, then watch that, right? Take a break, then watch that. And then we are doing that today. I guess I need to update that August, make it August. So anyways, peace on earth. May the bips be with you. May your profits be above average. I'll see you at noon ET. It's only like 2.5